Hey everyone. I'm gonna be upfront about this and just say that I want to record Metroid Dread on hard mode for a number of different reasons, but I don't want to just start with that one, and I don't really feel like I have the drive to commit to doing like a whole Metroid series or anything, like doing all the all the main games or anything like that. But I thought I'd at least go and start with this one before I jump into Dread. I think that would be cool, because they're from the same developer. You can see where some of the design philosophy in Dread came from. You can see how it changed. And you can see how they did with the remake of 2, because the original was a Game Boy game. It could do it. It was pretty good for a Game Boy game, but it could do with a remake. And they did, but I feel this one went overlooked a lot because of a lot of unfortunate stuff with the time period it came out in, being the end of the 3DS's life, and other reasons besides, but I could perhaps talk about that later. For now... Oh yes, I'm gonna switch to this view for now, but I'm not gonna keep it this way. I have some cool stuff I worked on for the presentation of this. I'll show you in a bit, but for now, this is the best way for you to see it while I start up a hard mode save. In the year 20-something-5 of the cosmic calendar, 2000-something-5, a Galactic Federation research team discovered an unknown life form on planet SR-388. While they were able to successfully obtain a living sample, their research vessel was attacked by space pirates during their voyage home. This attack was no coincidence. The space pirates had set their sights on these mysterious organisms called Metroids. They planned to replicate the sample and exploit its ability to absorb the energy of any life form. Their intention was to use Metroids as a weapon, one powerful enough to conquer the entire galaxy. To combat this threat, the Galactic Federation dispatched a lone bounty hunter to infiltrate the space pirate base on the planet Zebes. Against all odds, Samus Aran eradicated the Metroids on Zebes and defeated Mother Brain, the leader of the space pirates. And so their sinister plans were thwarted for a time. That's some really cool art, by the way. Concerned by these developments and by the great threat the Metroid species still pose to the galaxy, the Galactic Federation mounted another expedition to SR-388. A special squadron of elite soldiers from the Galactic Federation Police was dispatched to investigate. The team soon went missing, but not before transmitting a small sampling of data back to headquarters. Analysis of this data confirmed a Metroid presence within the interior of planet SR-388. So long as they continued to exist, these Metroids would forever pose a devastating threat to the galaxy. The resulting decision of the Galactic Federation Council was immediate and unanimous. Samus Aran, you must exterminate the Metroids once and for all. So this is kind of the typical, presentation, more or less, like showing two screens. That's kind of typical for people showing off like a DS or a 3DS game. When possible, I like to go a little above and beyond for the way I present DS and 3DS games, as little as I've done it. I like to do the best I can with the presentation, because that whole dual screen layout is, it's not really the best to look at. It's good because it gives you all the information you need, but I think you can do better. We have arrived. Now, as you can see, all of the, all the UI is on the bottom screen. That's why, it's just nothing but Samus in the backdrop here. You can't actually see health or anything, which is not really helpful, so, I worked on a little something. Got a, semi-transparent minimap in the top right corner, got the health and ammo in the top left, and the Metroid count in the bottom right. And I can disable and enable these overlays whenever I need to, so that's cool. I've got a hotkey on my controller that'll, do that. This is all some OBS trickery. I don't think... I was gonna have a hotkey to bring up the dual screen layout, but I realized it would actually be better to just have a hotkey to bring up the bottom screen like this. I won't have to do that very often as it is, and the few times that you'll need to see that, I think it's better to just bring it up like this. So with that, let's go explore SR388. I'm not playing this in the usual way. I have a 3DS capture card, so I could have, but I was going to, but man, the 3DS's natural, ooh, see how much damage that does on hard mode? I gotta be careful. This game's original... Oh yeah, this game added the free aiming, which is a very cool thing, actually. I like it a lot. It's very, that's a nice addition to Metroid. This game's native resolution does not do it any favors. So... I don't know if it's a... I'm not like a big YouTuber, so I could probably just say it outright and not have any problems. I don't think I need to worry about Nintendo's legal division breathing down my neck, but even so, I don't know if I should say it outright. I'm sure you can guess how I would have the graphics looking better. You could say some citrus fruit is good and tasty. This is not, this is not the game's native resolution. I had to replay the game to get clear save data for hard mode, unfortunately, but I think it's worth it. You might notice some occasional things with this. There could be some slight hiccups here or there as I go, but I think it's worth it for how much better this looks. Oh, that's right, I actually took a screenshot so I could show you. This is how it would have looked if I just recorded it the normal way on my with my 3DS capture card, and this is how it looks by comparison with what I'm doing now. I think any slight things are worth the trade-off there, don't you? This is one of the other major new things to Samus Returns that carries the Dread is the melee counter system. It's pretty fun. I like it a lot, although, perhaps I'll save that for later, but... Yeah, I could comment more on that, like, on stuff, how I feel about things long-term later. But for now, I'll just say that it is a pretty cool mechanic that is a lot of fun to use. If you do a follow-up shot on an enemy right away after a counter, I notice that it just treats them as if they have only 1 health left, which is very handy. Not bosses, obviously, but any, like, standard enemy, it'll behave that way. Trying to avoid running into that enemy as I go down. The only difference with hard mode that I'm aware of is just that you take, like, double the damage. But I wanted to try it. And I kind of wanted to do videos anyway, so... Yeah, this is a cutscene. There's our first upgrade. You only get one guess. Yep, it's the Morph Ball. It's always the Morph Ball. Or is it? Compact Morph Ball lets you move through narrow passages. Simply push the control stick down while crouching, or tap the maps on the touchscreen to take on Morph Ball form. That reminds me, I want to move my mouse cursor over here. I mapped another button on the controller to be able to just do that. Because that'll come in handy. Before we move on, there was a missile tank over here. This is going to be a 100% run. It's not like this is going to be a super professional, skilled run or anything. This is my first time playing hard mode. I just wanted to do it and see how it goes. And I might miss some things item-wise too. But since I've played through this game a few times recently, I should find... I should remember where a decent amount of them are without too much trouble. Another cutscene here. This is new to the remake. I like this. The original version did have the vague, undefined... A lot of people thought it was like lava or something, or acid. No, it's some kind of mysterious purple fluid that you don't want to be in because it hurts. The original game just had these like random earthquakes that would just happen whenever you defeated enough Metroids for unexplained reasons. This game does the whole thing. I like it. It justifies it better. I was just saying something a moment ago. Can't open this door, so I'm gonna have to go up. Oh man, what was I saying a minute ago? I hate when my brain does that. Well, whatever. We'll just move on for now. We're just encountering all sorts of new stuff right off the bat with this game. Compared to, like, the Game Boy version. This is another major thing that originates in this remake of 2. A new type of power-up. Not the scan pulse specifically, but, Aeon energy abilities. Aeon fuels special abilities like the Scan Pulse. Refill your gauge with the Aeon orbs foes may drop when you either beat them or successfully parry. Scan Pulse uses Aeon to scan an area. Use it to reveal map information and the location of breakable blocks. Press up on the control pad to equip. Press A while equipped to activate. Cancel by pressing A again before the pulse is released. So yeah, you can, top left corner of the bottom screen here. You can see kind of the control pad thing. This ability is a godsend and is why I was able to 100% this game with relatively little help. I did have to find out I had to read about something, but I'll mention that later. Like it said, shows you breakable blocks, and you can see on the mini-map there's a glowing area after I use the Scan Pulse for a bit. Anything in that big square gets filled in. Any map information. If there's a room there, it'll show up. If there's an item there, it'll show up. This is such a great tool for uncovering hidden items. Wow, yeah, I'm used to being able to play this a little recklessly, and I'm gonna have to get used to the idea of not just comfortably taking hits on hard mode. Doing the melee counter does get you back a lot more, like... It gets more drops off the enemies, so it's a great way to refill the Aeon gauge, and a lot of times it's even helpful for just, like, restoring some extra health. Or missiles. The UI stays on for this cutscene to demonstrate the Metroid flashing thing there. We can tell when we're close to one. Although I feel like maybe that should be flashing a little bit more strongly, because that thing's pretty close. And it's gone. Just like that enemy. Oh, no, wait. Oh, there's a missile tank up there. And I can't wall jump. You can't wall jump off of, you can't wall jump off of walls that are right next to each other, so, yeah, I'll have to go back for that. Dang it. I may miss stuff. I think that's something I was trying to... That might be what I was trying to say before. I may miss stuff, but, this is going to be a 100% playthrough. Even if I miss something, my first, like, trip through an area, I'll come back for it later. If I just forget it or whatever, that's fine, I'll get it later. And the Scan Pulse is what will ensure that I'm able to get anything I miss without too much trouble. Can't go that way. I really like the music in this remake. This is a nice remix of, like, I'd call it Metroid 2's main theme. because it's what plays in the interconnecting passages of the caverns. You kind of hear it throughout most of the game, whenever you're not in one of these, like, main areas. You'll hear the Game Boy rendition of this theme in the original version of this game. In this remake, I will sometimes accidentally activate Aeon abilities without meaning to. My finger slips. In this game, this music track only plays in this area. After you get the Morph Ball, that's it. Every area's got its own unique theme. And the interconnecting areas just kind of have ominous music. That's fine. Oh, it's dead. I guess we don't have to do anything. Oh. It's not dead, it's evolving. You know, I'm gonna get hit here, because I want to actually see... That didn't do as much damage as I was expecting. What about the energy, like, pellet things? Honestly, that's more survivable than I thought it was gonna be. Do have to keep in mind, though, that there is another harder difficulty that hits twice as hard as even this difficulty. I did choose hard mode, right? I think that checks out. I'm gonna go review the... I think this is hard mode. I think that about checks out. I guess I was expecting worse. Maybe I was kind of thinking of how, like, the hardest difficulty would be. I might as well use the missile recharge. The hardest difficulty requires an amiibo to unlock, though, which I don't have. There's ways around that. I don't really care right now. I just wanted to do this for fun right now. Just the regular hard mode. The fusion mode sounds like a big pain. Got our first beam upgrade. This one's, you know, self-explanatory, but charge beam gathers energy, which is then released all at once. The power can be used to open charge doors. Press and hold Y to charge, and then release Y to fire. I guess that is something new to this game, though. In terms of, like... Because I don't think any previous Metroid games, until this one, had the doors that, like, do not open unless you hit them with a charge beam specifically. Nope. Cancelled it this time. Now the question is, do I go back for that missile tank that I missed, or do I just move on? Honestly, I'll have to come back here later on anyway. Of course, I might forget that I didn't pick that up. I'll go get it real quick. My plan for this is... as I said, I'm gonna get 100% of items, but... I'm not gonna get items... I'm actually directly planning to not just get items at every opportunity to. Like, I'll be missing stuff for a while on purpose. Stuff like this, stuff that's easily obtainable, I want to get as long as I remember it's there. But, basically I just don't want to do a lot of backtracking. I'm going to try and cut down the amount of backtracking by not doing any until I have all the abilities, with little exception. There's one item I can think of that I'll probably backtrack for. Basically, there's a case where just, like, there's an energy tank that I can't get in an area when I get to it, but I get an ability in the very next area that lets me go back and get it. So that I'll probably get. Since it's hard mode, I could use the health, I'm sure. But as far as anything else, I'm not planning to backtrack until I have all the abilities. Just to cut down on the amount of backtracking that has to be done. Like, it'll help if it's all contained together in one segment. One video even, probably. When I say everything, I don't mean... There's a few items I'll have to miss during that backtracking point too, because there's a few items you can only get during the ending portion of this game. But I'll try and get everything else before then. I took some notes on what is the highest percentage, like, highest item completion percentage you can get for each area before you are at that end of the game point. I'm sure most people know about Metroid 2 and what happens in it, so I probably don't need to be, like, vague, but I guess I'll be vague anyway. So yeah, that's how the fluid works in this game, is that it's something hinted to be deliberately put here by the Chozo, and you gotta clear out all the Metroids detected in the area before the fluid will drain. So that's interesting, because it gives you this lore implication that the Chozo intentionally imprisoned the Metroids deep within here. And it didn't entirely work out, because, I mean, there was, like, a Metroid right on the surface. And there had to have been another one like that at some point that the space pirates picked up. Or I guess, yeah, no, according to the story, the Galactic Federation picked it up, and then the Metroid, then the space pirates stole it. What could this mysterious statue be? We'll find out later. I really don't pay enough attention to these enemies. I tend to just not care about them. And imagine me playing the hardest difficulty. I'd really have to learn to be a lot more careful. But like I said, I'm not that interested in it. Never mind the fact that I could get this early. Oh, no, I can't. I don't have... I don't have Morph Ball bombs. Okay. Yeah, so I'm just gonna leave that till later. And let us proceed to the next area. That elevator goes by a bit quicker because of how I'm choosing to record this game. So yeah, in the remake here, these like purple zones, this is how the interconnecting areas are portrayed. It's a very different feel than the original game with its like main theme and everything. Go ahead and hit up this save point. So I can demonstrate. That's not how the save animation is supposed to work. It's just kind of skipping it and instant saving, but that's fine. The remake does a lot of things differently, but I like it for that. It kind of gives a lot of... it's why I feel like there's a lot of value in the fan remake existing still, too. Because you've got the Game Boy game, that's the original, that's the nostalgia factor. Then you've got this, which is a pretty cool reimagining of it. It really is just kind of a almost complete reimagining. You can tell some places where it does take cues and inspiration from the original, but for the most part, it's really doing its own thing. And I think that's pretty cool. If you want something more faithful, the fan remake does make changes too. But it's very much like, it's very Zero Mission-esque. AM2R is pretty faithful to the design of the original Game Boy game. So the fan remake and the official remake both kind of have their own things to contribute. We don't go in those rooms. Those rooms are too spicy for us right now. We cannot handle spice. So we'll be back there much later, since I'm not coming back until I have all the exploration abilities actually. I think it's just more fun to just condense all of the backtracking like that. And I think, like, I mentioned I'm gonna go back for, like, an energy tank at a certain point, but other than that, it's just, like, some extra missiles and stuff. I don't think I really need that badly. I think I'll be fine. I am sometimes bad at countering, but usually I'm not really too bad at it. I notice I'm getting a little bit of slowdown on the video here. You guys seeing that? I might have to see if there's any... I don't know if there's anything I can really do about that, but I'll have to see, if there's anything I can do. Because I don't like that. I want the video to look as good as possible. I mean, I went to all this effort for, like, the presentation. Oh yeah, even if you kind of mess up KOing an enemy after the counter, they are left stunned for a bit, so that's helpful. I think somewhere around here. Yeah. Okay, yeah. What's in here? Oh, I'm not sure I wanted to come here yet. Oh well, we live here now. I may not always do things in the most efficient order. That's why I was trying to say this is not going to be like a super skilled run or anything. I just wanted to do hard mode casually, essentially. Casual hard mode. That's kind of a funny phrase. But yeah. I'm not expecting too many deaths, hopefully. I needed... Yeah, okay. I'll have to come back here. But whatever happens, happens. I'm not too worried about it. If it gets really bad with deaths at any point, I'll probably do some editing cuts to cut down on it a bit. Maybe. We'll see. I'm not really counting on that, though. I think I've gotten enough experience playing this up to on normal mode that I feel like hard mode's not going to be that bad. If I had the amiibo and was doing fusion mode, that would probably be a different story, but hard mode's not that bad. When you have experience with the game. If hard mode was unlocked from the start and I chose it as my first playthrough, that would have sucked. Bomb specially designed for the Morph Ball. Yeah. Set with Y button. Standard stuff. Oh, I can get this one. These, like, hidden areas underneath the rooms in, like, a statue area, that was a pretty typical thing in the original game. Oh, actually, that's the way I have to get out of here. Yeah, I forgot. That's a good thing. That's a pretty cool thing that this game does. When it gives you a new ability, it tends to give you that ability in a place that you can't get out of without proper use of the ability. So it's essentially like making sure that you understand the mechanics, because you will not be able to progress until you can get out of the room with the new mechanic. That's pretty good game design. So yes, this statue is a quick travel system, which is pretty handy, and with the existence of that, I suppose doing a lot of backtracking all throughout the game wouldn't be so bad, but I'd still rather just condense it. Because like I said, I mean, just some extra missiles here and there and stuff, not really that big a deal. I can live without those for a while. It'll be fine. I'll have to come back here in a bit, but for now, I can go in here and get these missiles. And we can see an upgrade that we cannot reach. I am commentating on this from the perspective of, like, someone who's never seen Samus Returns, because I think I may get some viewers who haven't. That's usually, I think that's just kind of my preferred commentary style, is to assume, just to go on the assumption that someone hasn't seen the game I've played, and, you know, if you have, you have. But I like to present it in a way that is nice for people who haven't seen it. If possible. I don't know if I've always done that in videos that I've made, but I've probably done it more than I haven't. Freezes enemies, can use them as platforms. Charging the beam makes them be frozen more. Yeah, the ice beams in this game is... can't get in there. The ice beam in this game is not even really worth using. Oh, yeah, the way this works, by the way. You change beams with the touchscreen. There's no other way to change beams, which is not the best, but it works okay. Especially when you're playing the normal way on an actual 3DS. And this, it works fine. I kind of get why they did it this way, because they designed this game, especially with, like, they were designing this game with the original 3DS, not the new 3DS, in mind, so that's, like, 2 buttons and a stick that were missing, so they wanted to make sure that control worked okay that way. Yeah, the ice beam in this game, first of all, just kind of not worth having on in general unless you're fighting Metroids or using it to platform. Because freezing enemies is just kind of annoying, I think, more so than anything. It's quicker to just, like, if you're going by speed, it's quicker to just melee counter them and or like missile them or whatever. And yeah, I don't know. As far as I was gonna also say, the other thing I was gonna say was, like, it's not worth using in general a lot of time unless you're platforming or fighting Metroids. But also, it's not worth using at all unless you charge it up first. Because, well, I'll demonstrate. Enemies don't really stay frozen long enough to do much if you don't charge it up. But they stay frozen quite long if you charge it up, so that's fine. There we go. Aeon Tank expansion. Or Aeon Tank, which expands the gauge. I think it's funny that I saw a review complaining about the length of time that enemies stay frozen, like it's not nearly long enough, and did they not read the text? Did they not try hitting an enemy with a charged shot? Because they stay frozen pretty long with a charged shot, and yet if they didn't do that, I don't know how they even got through some of the area. Maybe they didn't, I don't know. I was surprised to see that complaint. Oh, oops. Oh, it's fine. Oh, if you're wondering in that other room why I went on the other side of the... like, I intentionally went to the other side of the enemy before I froze it. It's because which side of the enemy you're on determines which side they float towards. So if I had been on the enemy's left side, they would have floated away towards the right, and I wouldn't have had the... I don't have the jump height to reach where it would have been. So yeah, I was maneuvering myself to place it in a position that was useful. Before I move on in there, what was up here? Nothing I can do much about right now. Unless I bomb jump, but I don't want to bother. Because I'll get something soon enough that will help. Yeah, I guess we can keep going a little longer. Ah yes, these one-way... This is an interesting new type of door in this game, too. These are essentially one-way doors. Some of them stay open, like some of them are just buggy. And then they just stay open forever. Some of them will close on you, but either way, they are one-way doors. You can only open them from one side. I'm being very redundant right now. I like that this enemy that's normally impervious to your beam can be KO'd with a regular beam shot if you melee counter it first. Is there... I don't think there's a point to this block being breakable. I think it's just kind of there. So this is a cool ability. Spider Ball? Spider Ball. This is the, like, major cool thing that Metroid 2 had in it that a lot of games didn't after that. I know it was in Metroid Prime. Yeah, it was in the first Metroid Prime. For a moment, I was wondering if it was only in, like, 2, which I haven't played, but I was like, no, it was definitely in the first one. I've only played... Yeah, there's still some Metroid games I have yet to get around to. I've only played the first Metroid Prime game, so... I've got a good few games to get to still. But I've played all the, like, main ones. This is gonna let me get around to a lot of new areas, but not to all areas. There will be things that'll prevent me from just going anywhere I want. I'll go in this door first before I check on that. I forgot to set the ice beam, but that's okay. It's not really that needed for the basic Metroids. It still helps, and it's a way to damage them without missiles, but it's, I'll be fine without it, you know? Setting a beam mid-battle is kinda inconvenient for me the way I have this set up and I'm playing this. I can do it, but it's better to have it on the beam that I'm gonna use to begin with. And that door was a one-way door, so... I'm gonna have to get out of the room this way. Hey, energy tank. Suddenly very glad that was a one-way door. I actually forgot this was here, too. That one's kind of a freebie. Now let me see if there's anything up here. We might not get an example of why I can't just go anywhere until later. Actually, there's a couple different things that prevent you from using this just anywhere and everywhere. But I don't think there's anything in this room specifically. Oh yeah, this is up here. Got a health recharge station and missile recharge, and up here... Ah, bomb block. I'm just gonna missile you. That's a fall block. Now these fans are basically kind of here to troll you. You can't use your bombs because they just get eaten by the fan. So, missile instead. Those fans will be cleverly placed in places to prevent you from, it's a good way to let you not... It's a good way to prevent you from getting into an area with bombs, while also letting you get out of that area with bombs, we'll say that. And other things like that. The fan does just feel like such a troll move a lot of the time, but it was a well thought out thing, design-wise, I would say. I don't want to go too far back here. I didn't realize I could go this far. I think there's something under here. Yep. Yeah, I may not even have to use the scan pulse all the time, since I've played through this game a few times on normal mode at this point. But anyway, I just want to go back here and save for now, because I think that's good for one video. Pick this up next time, and maybe clear out this area the rest of the way. We'll see what happens. But till then, take care of yourself, or if you're just binge watching these, I'll see you in like a few seconds or something, I don't know.